This is Hip Hop and Movie News. My name is Paul Stanko. Let's talk Star Wars. The newest Star Wars trailer for Force Awakens emerged last week at Celebration in Anaheim. And the first thing you see, it's a giant Imperial Star Destroyer that's been crashed into a planet. It shows you that the old Empire is out and the new Empire is in. They're called the First Order now, and those stormtroopers, they looking bad. They show you the new characters running through a planet that looks like Tatooine, but isn't. We got X-Wings flying in. We got BB-8, the new R2-D2 rolling through. R2-D2 is in this actual trailer with Luke Skywalker's metallic hand touching him. And you hear Luke Skywalker's voice. That's Mark Hamill, who's saying those famous lines from Return of the Jedi. My father had it, I have it, my sister had it, and you have it. That's when he breaks form. And who is the you he's talking to? Who's the new Jedi that's emerging? That's what we're all hoping to learn this Christmas when Star Wars Force Awakens finally comes out. And you recognize this helmet? That's right. Vader's helmet, one of the icons of this franchise, is one of the first things you see in the trailer. It's gorgeous. If you haven't seen the trailer, please watch it and stay around till the end when you get to see Harrison Ford and Chewbacca, Han Solo and Chewie back again. And what do they say? We're home. It's just such a, it brings tears to my eyes. I can't wait to see this movie. Let's move on to a galaxy a little bit closer to home. Cuba. Cuban rappers are currently seeking freedom of speech, thought, and expression from the totalitarian government that controls their country. This past month, in April, was the Summit of Americas. Cuba has been excluded from this summit since its beginning, and this is the first year they've been invited because the summit is built on the foundations of democracy and freedom, which are two things that Cuba isn't really jiving with. They have complete control over all of the media and social outlets in their country. So rappers and hip-hop artists are heavily censored and heavily oppressed. They're reduced to doing small shows, secret shows in warehouses and basements. A Cuban rapper named David Diomni attended the summit. Him and 6 others went there to make their voices heard about the lack of respect and the heavy censorship that music and most art faces. This is an important part of hip-hop culture because this is one of the most important tools that hip-hop can be, is a tool for social change. So please support Cuban hip-hop. Listen to some Cuban hip-hop this week. Discover it. David Diomni. It's David D-O-M-N-I. You can find him on Reverb Nation. Listen to his music. Support his music. And so one day he and his fellow rappers can have the same freedoms of thoughts and expression that we so often take for granted in this country. Because the ability to express yourself and make dope hip-hop music is a right that should be afforded to all people, regardless of where you live. Snoop Dogg recently invested in what he is calling the Uber of weed delivery. He has invested, along with other big investors, into a $10 million venture to start up a weed delivery service called Ease. Now, this service follows the Uber business model of being able to just hit a button and in 10 minutes, you will have weed delivered to your doorstep. So, happy 420, everybody. Uncle Snoop with his hands in many things, but always with one hand on a joint, and a joint venture into weed capitalism. Okay, so for this next part, you need to get all of the kids out of the room because this is Song of the Week, and the Song of the Week is GMR, Grown Man Rap.
They let the lion out the cage, the son of Sam with a rage. Fast forward past today, and I'm shooting past they brigade. Lyrical warfare, the traitor verse with haters ain't my style.
Rick Gonzalez and AG DeCorner are the two grown men rapping on this track. It's a very straightforward hip-hop track. 2 verses, a hook, and some real mean bars. Both rappers deliver great performances, but I think AG's bars ultimately hit harder. This week's movie review is Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. The film is basically about Paul Blart attending this security convention, and he rides a Segway around and does a bunch of fat jokes, and in the midst of this there's an art heist with this cartoonish villain who's got 2 different color eyes. That's how you know he's evil. And Paul Blart's daughter gets kidnapped by this villain, and then Paul Blart has to pull out all the tricks in his really tight security uniform to get her back. This movie, it's literally just pandering for terrible jokes and bad metaphors and a schlubbish portrait that Kevin James thrusts at you on the back of a poorly navigated Segway and says, "Please laugh at this. This is funny, right? I'm a fat guy and I keep messing up. laugh at me. That is Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 in a nutshell, and that is why I can only give this movie 0 tickets. Do not under any circumstance see Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. It's like warning people about bears in the woods. Don't go into the woods, there's bears in there. Don't go to the movie theater, Paul Blart is there. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Please rate, comment, subscribe, tell us how we're doing, tell us you love us, tell us you hate us, and send us your 15-second viewer submissions of a freestyle or your favorite reenactment from a movie. This week's viewer submissions come at us from Luke RHN and Nibs Nation. Enjoy. I'm out.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Yo, it's me and all my old habits, looking like some Hove tactics, cause I am the heart of the city. Trust my zone tragic, no challenge, I'm proud of G that knows havoc. Survival of the fittest, guess I'll be bumping my own classics.